talk about history of Korea.
Korea, a peninsula in East Asia, is bordered by China to the northwest and separated from Japan to the east. Since 1945, Korea is divided into two countries at the 38th parallel, North Korea and South Korea. Early history. In 2333 BCE, Gojoseon, the first Korean kingdom, was established by Daegu, deemed the grandson of heaven. By the 3rd century BC, the southern part of Korea was occupied by the Jin state. Gojoseon underwent 3 periods: Daegun Joseon, Gija Joseon, and Wimin Joseon. In 108 BCE, it was invaded by the Han dynasty, which then installed 4 commanderies in northern Korea. Within a few decades, 3 of the commanderies fell within a few decades, except the Lilang commandery. The northern part of the peninsula and Manchuria was then occupied by Byuyo, Goryeo, Okgejo, Donghae, and other minor statelets, while in the south, the Jin state gave rise to the loose confederacies Jinhan, Byeohan, and Mahan. 3 kingdoms of Korea. The 3 kingdoms of Korea comprise Goguryeo, Silla, and Bakji. From the 1st century AD, Goguryeo gradually conquered its neighbors and occupied the northern part of Korea, while Bakji and Silla grew to control the southern. In the early 6th century, Silla's power extended across the Korean peninsula. By the 640s, Silla formed an alliance with the Tang dynasty of China to conquer Baekje, and later Goguryeo, unifying the central and southern parts of the Korean peninsula into unified Silla. Meanwhile, the northern part was under the control of Balhae, founded by King Go. In the late 9th century, Silla was divided into the brief later 3 kingdoms of Silla, later Bakji, and Taebong, before falling to Goryeo in 935. Goryeo and Joseon dynasty. Goryeo was founded by Wang Jian in 918 as the successor of Goguryeo, with Kaesong as the capital, gradually unifying most of the Korean peninsula. Following the Mongol invasions of Korea from 1230 to 1270, Goryeo existed as a vassal state and compulsory ally of the Mongol-ruled Yuan dynasty in China. After a coup, General Yi Song-gi overthrew the Goryeo dynasty and, in 1392, established the Joseon dynasty. The capital was moved from Kaesong to Hanseong. Under King Sejong the Great, Joseon enjoyed numerous beneficial administrative, social, scientific, and economic reforms. Especially, he created Hangul, the Korean alphabet. From 1592 to 1598, Joseon suffered from the great destruction of the Japanese invasions. Following 2 invasions by the latter Jin and Qing dynasties, Joseon became a subordinate of the Qing Empire. In the 19th century, Joseon adopted a harsh isolationist policy, for which it became known as the Hermit Kingdom. However, Joseon was soon forced to open its borders, leading to an era of Japanese imperial rule. Korean Empire and Japanese occupation. Following the Sino-Japanese War and the Treaty of Shimonoseki, Korea was recognized with full and complete independence and autonomy by the Qing dynasty. In 1897, the Joseon dynasty proclaimed that the Korean Empire with Emperor King Gojong. Russia posed a strong influence in the Korean Empire until the Russo-Japanese War, which pushed the Russians out of the fight for Korea. The following year, Korea became a protectorate of Japan. In 1910, Japan formally annexed Korean Empire with the Japan-Korea Annexation Treaty. Thereafter, Korea was officially named Chosun. Since 1939, over 5 million Koreans were conscripted for labor, 10,000 men were forced into Japan's military, and about 200,000 girls and women were forced into sexual slavery for the Japanese military. Division and Korea War. After the end of World War II, with the unconditional surrender of Japan in 1945, Korea was partitioned along the 38th parallel, with the north under Soviet occupation and the south under US occupation. The politics of the Cold War resulted in the 1948 establishment of two sovereign states, North Korea, officially the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and South Korea, officially the Republic of Korea. In 1950, the Korean War broke out when Soviet-backed North Korea invaded South Korea and ended without a formalized peace treaty. The Korean peninsula remained divided by the Korean Demilitarized Zone up to the present day. Modern Korea. After the war, South Korea witnessed enormous economic growth in a period called the Miracle on the Han River, giving rise to numerous family conglomerates such as Samsung, Hyundai, SK Group, and LG Corporation. In 1987, South Korea transitioned into a constitutional democracy. Today, South Korea is a leading economy and is famous for bringing the Hallyu wave to the entertainment industry all over the world. Meanwhile, under Soviet influence, North Korea adopted a communist government. The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 led to a full-scale collapse of the North Korean economy. By the 21st century, Kim Jong-il, and later his son Kim Jong-un, decided to pursue nuclear weapons, creating a series of crises ongoing to the present day. In 2018, the Panmunjom Declaration was signed between the Supreme Leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, and the President of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, announcing that they will work to officially end the Korean long-lasting conflict.
Let's proceed to their tradition. These traditions include the ethical code of conduct in social life and showing respect to the elders and family. Koreans also believe in sincerity and loyalty and follow certain codes of conduct while meeting, eating, praying, and even celebrating, at times when many other cultures would shake hands. Let me tell you the 10 customs of Korea. First is kimchi. Second, shoes off. Third, soju. Fourth, rice. Fifth is do not smile. Sixth, beware of elbows. Seventh, protests. Eighth, hiking. Ninth, bow wow. And last but not the least, nationalism. Next is Korea's heritage. Korea's vibrant cultural legacy, comprising music, art, literature, dance, architecture, clothing, and cuisine, offers a delightful combination of tradition and modernity. South Korea preserves a wealth of priceless cultural heritage, the majority of which have been inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage. Performing arts, or theater. Korea's extremely innovative and dynamic theater scene is inspired as much by international developments as it is by the rich diversity of traditional and classical art forms at home, which are currently experiencing quite a transformation. The House of World Cultures is showing these highlights of traditional and classical art forms at home, which are currently experiencing quite a transformation. The House of World Cultures is showing these highlights of these developments in the form of 3 new productions. Korean arts include traditions in calligraphy, music, painting, and pottery, but there is this famous basketry arts and crafts in Korea. Let's move to their festivals and celebrations. Here are the 12 festivals and celebrations in Korea. First, Jeju Fire Festival welcoming best of health and harvest. Second, Jinju Lantern Festival Make a Wish. Third, Seongsan Sunrise Festival welcoming the new year. Fourth, Hansik in memory of the ancestors. Fifth, Yudu a unique celebration. Sixth, Seoul Happy New Year. Seventh, Dano a beautiful Korean tradition. Eighth, Hwachun Sancheoneo Ice Festival. Ninth, Boryong Mud Festival Messiness creates happiness. And last, Gwangju World Culture Kimchi Festival. This is Korea's language writing. Hangul is the writing system of the Korean language. Hangul is made up of 14 consonants and 10 vowels, making it an alphabet with a total of 24 letters. It is the official writing system in South Korea and North Korea, where it is known as Chosun Muncha, and it is used by diaspora Koreans across the world. These are the 4 symbols of Korea. last, this are the Korean foods. 1. Hangover stew. Given South Korea's dedicated drinking culture, it's not surprising that its hangover curing culture is equally as developed, from pre-drinking drinks to post-drinking drinks to a glorious array of spicy and steamy stews and soups, made from a beef broth, with cabbage, bean sprouts, radish and chunks of congealed ox blood. The deeply satisfying taste does wonders to kickstart your sluggish brain in the morning. 2. Kimchi. Dating to the Silla dynasty around 2,000 years ago, kimchi is the beloved spicy sidekick at every Korean table. It's made by salting and preserving fermented cabbage in a bed of pepper, garlic, ginger, and scallion. Feeling adventurous? Exchange your regular red cabbage kimchi for gagakju chopped radish kimchi, a popular side at gimbap restaurants. Yeolmumul kimchi is a less spicy kimchi made with young radish stalks floating in a tangy soup. For a selection of handmade kimchi, try online kimchi sellers Real Kimchi. 3. Soft tofu stew. Soft tofu, clams and an egg and spicy broth. This popular stew is a classic example of unexpected flavor combinations yielding delightful sensations. The soft tofu, which breaks into fluffy chunks in the stew, holds the flavor of the clam and serves as a relief from the overall spiciness. Proper sundubu jjigae comes in a traditional earthenware pot designed to retain heat. The egg is cracked into the stew after serving and cooks inside the bowl. 4. Samgyeopsal. The best part of eating in a samgyeopsal restaurant is the atmosphere, a rollicking party punctuated by soju shots, pork strips sizzling on a grill, and shouts for one more serving, please. Served with lettuce, perilla leaves, sliced onions, and raw garlic kimchi. It's smudged in samjang, a mix of soybean paste called doenjang and chili paste called gochujang, or salt and pepper in sesame oil. 5. Jjajangmyeon. Although originally a Chinese dish, Koreans have taken the noodles and created a thicker, yummier version that holds only a vague resemblance to its Chinese predecessor. Think of New Yorkers and the wonders they've done with pizza. Closing parenthesis. It would not be an understatement to say Korean diets would not be the same without this dish. Most Koreans eat it at least once a week and have their favorite jjajangmyeon delivery shop on speed dial. 6. Chimaek. Chimaek, short for chicken, makyu beer, is actually not a dish, but an institution. This glorious pairing features two surprisingly mundane foods, fried chicken and beer. Neither half, chicken nor beer, is particularly remarkable on its own, but their popularity as a joint entity demonstrates a glorious combination devoured by millions of Koreans every weekend. 7. Instant noodles. Anyone can follow the directions on the back of the Ramayan package to boil water and sprinkle in the spice packet, but connoisseurs will add extras like canned tuna, eggs, and cheese for enhanced flavor. 8. Kimchi stew. A lesser-known fact about kimchi is its versatility as an ingredient in a whole slew of derivative dishes, which comprise a category of their own. In kimchi jjigae, red cabbage kimchi is chopped, sautéed in oil, and cooked with tofu, cellophane noodles, pork, sometimes tuna, and other vegetables. Despite the stew's debt to kimchi, you know it has come into its own when it's served with kimchi as a side dish. 9. Army stew. This hodgepodge stew of sausages, spam, American cheese, instant noodles, tteok, and assorted vegetables dates back to the aftermath of the Korean War. Because meat was scarce, cooks found creative replacements in the surplus foods from the American Army base stationed in Seoul, hence the stew's name. Although meat has since then become plentiful, a buddy jjigae without spam is unimaginable. 10. Soy sauce crab. Ganjang gajang, or crab marinated in soy sauce, can be so addictive that it's often affectionately called rice thief. The joke being that you keep eating more rice just so that you can have more gajang, since it's just that good. Slightly tangy, tantalizingly bitter, pungent and cold, the taste may come as a shock for first-timers, but among South Koreans, gajang has been carving out a niche for itself as more of a centerpiece than a sideshow to other seafoods. 11. Tteokbokki. This iconic red-orange street food is so popular there's an entire part of Seoul just devoted to the steamed and sliced rice cakes tteok, cooked with fish cakes, odon, and scallions in a sweet and spicy sauce made of chili paste. Chefs have been known to put all sorts of things inside the sauce, from the black soybean paste to plain old ketchup. Call us masochists, but one thing is certain: the more pepper, the better. 12. Gopchang. Gopchang refers to the small intestines from pork or cattle, which, chopped into rounded sections, can be cooked into soups, stir-fried, or grilled. Grilled, gopchang is yet another important aspect of Korean barbecue culture, chewy without being rubbery. It's a bit more festive than samgyeopsal, although it's still a staunchly earthy food, and as most office workers in South Korea can tell you, it's divine with soju. 13. Samjitang. Continuing along the masochistic strain, Koreans have a saying that goes, fight heat with heat. What that means is they love to eat boiling hot dishes on the hottest summer days. The most representative of these is samjitang, a thick, glutinous soup with the whole stuffed chicken. Floating in its boiling depths, the cooking process tones down the ginseng's signature bitterness and leaves an oddly appealing, aromatic flavor instead of flavor that permeates an entire bird boiled down to a juicy softness. 14. Bibimbap. This Korean lunch in a bowl mixes together a simple salad of rice, mixed vegetables, rice, beef, and egg, with sesame oil and a dollop of chili paste for seasoning. Although Korean kings from yesteryear would probably be shocked at how the royal dish has become so ingrained into the palate of the masses, we love how cheaply and quickly we can devour our favorite lunch. 15. Gimbap. The process of making gimbap resembles the Italian glasswork technique of millefiori, and indeed, the finished gimbap often looks too pretty to eat. Sautéed vegetables, ground beef, sweet pickled radish, and rice, rolled and tightly wrapped in a sheet of laver seaweed jim, and then sliced into bite-sized circles. 16. Doenjang. This brown, textured paste is not the prettiest food in the world, and like Australian Vegemite, the taste takes some getting used to. But once that taste is acquired, good luck trying to make do without it. When people think Asian cuisine, they often think soy sauce, but soy sauce is actually a byproduct of this soybean product, a paste made from dried and fermented soybeans in a process too complicated to describe here. 17. Gamjatting. Most gamjatting places are open 24 hours, because South Koreans tend to crave this stew in the early hours of the morning as an alternative to hangover stew. This hearty dish features potatoes gamja, scallions, ground perilla seed, and bits of pork cooked in a pork bone broth. The real appeal of this stew lies in the unique taste of the perilla seed, which is perhaps more important to the flavor than the meat. 18. Hamul payeon. Crunchy and filling, Korean pancake tastes best when it comes studded with shellfish, cuttlefish, and other varieties of seafood to make hamul seafood payeon. And with its traditional companion of Korean rice wine, makgeolli, payeon makes the perfect meal for a rainy day. 19. Jampong or jambong. This dish is the soupier, spicier counterpart to jjajangmyeon, and together they form the core of Korean Chinese home delivery cuisine. And number 20. Sundae. Another street food, sundae is a type of sausage, similar in content to blood pudding, with roots in Mongolian cuisine. Real sundae is pig intestine with a stuffing of cellophane noodles, vegetables, and meat. But even if you eat the street vendor version, which uses a synthetic replacement for the pig intestine. And that's my presentation, everyone. I would like to say thank you for your time watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. This is Michaela J.A. Castillo, your presenter in this video studying at San Antonino National High School Grade 8, Section Acacia.